Go! Então vamos lá à primeira entrevista de hoje. É com Gregory Guillaume, francês, de origem, aliás, bem francês, mas bem inglês, que é o Head of Design da Kia. Eu vou conversar com ele sobre a nova imagem da Kia. Como vocês sabem, já é um assunto que nós repetimos com frequência. O design é um elemento fundamental na indústria automóvel, porque joga com as emoções. Ora, é exatamente isso que nós vamos falar. Gregory, thank you very much for talking to Encontro Dinheiro. We've been noticing that Kia is changing its design very aggressively. Why is that?
Well, we started the new era of Kia actually quite a while ago now. I've been with the company for 12 years, and that was the moment where Kia had decided to actually become serious on the market and developed a design strategy and a wish to bring some new models to the market. And we've been working on this ongoing process. And of course, every year is a new step on where we want to bring the brand. And now we're launching a car like the Stinger, which will be a major turning point for us, we believe, as well.
Nós mais tarde iremos falar sobre o Stinger, que foi o carro que o Guillaume falou agora. But going back to the conversation, the Stinger is probably the boldest effort you made in terms of design.
I think we've done a few bold steps before. I mean, especially when you look in Europe, the Sportage, the new one, and the one before were real head turners. And I sometimes believe that they even redefined the segment in Europe. I think before our Sportage in Europe, in that segment, never had an SUV being that sexy, that sporty in that segment. So we're used to trying to, surprise people. Actually, our slogan is the power to surprise.
Power to surprise.
And this is something that we really try to deliver on each time we bring a car. But there have been a few products that really played key roles within Europe, how to develop and position the brand, and Sportage was definitely one of those.
I'm amazed because it's not very common to see Asian companies, be it Japanese or Korean companies, embracing foreigners and working in key positions. Peter Schreier, for example, you in design. Would you say that the Kia is different from other companies, Asian companies?
Well, I've only worked for one Asian company, and it's Kia. But I do have many friends that have worked with Asian companies, and I had heard different feedback from their experience. And I must say that from day one, when I joined the company here, I was embraced really and given a lot of responsibility and trust. The way they incorporated us within the process, within the team, was almost overwhelming.
But would you say that it's a culture?
I don't know if it's a culture. I don't know if it will be the same in all Korean manufacturers. I just know the experience that I have had at Kia. And as I said, since day one, they really wanted to know what we believe is the right thing for Kia. They wanted to hear from us our point of view on the strategy, on how to go about in designing the cars for Kia and developing a design strategy. And actually in the design process gave us from day one a lot of responsibility. This is not just something you say like that. Even when I work for other brands, non-Asian brands, and I have been in some satellite studio, not always in the headquarters, and it's very difficult to have an important role when you're not in the headquarters.
When you sit down to design a car or start designing a car, what's your first thought? Can you share it with us?
So it always depends on what project you do, but what for me is always the important, before you actually start sketching, is that you think about the story you're going to be telling. It's almost, I try to figure out a bit of a scenario when I start. What is this car going to say? What will be the story around it? And then secondly is what role is it playing in the strategy that we have with Kia? Each